My name is Lisa, and I'm a happily married working housewife living with my husband, Noah. I enjoy my job, and thanks to Noah's cheerful personality, I have a fulfilling life every day. He helps out a lot with the household chores, and his kindness really supports me.
All right, toilet and bath cleaning done.
What? You cleaned them?
Yeah, I had some free time, and you were hanging the laundry.
Thank you. That really helps a lot. In this way, I lived happily. However, there was one thing that worried me.
Mom, you haven't washed my clothes yet. I need to wear them tomorrow, so get to it already.
Hazuki, I'm preparing dinner right now, do it yourself.
Huh? Laundry is your job, Mom.
No, it's not. You're not a child anymore, do things you can do yourself.
Lisa, it's okay. I'll do it as soon as I'm done here.
This is my mother and my sister, Hazuki. Hazuki still lives at home, but I've been worried about her attitude towards our mother. Actually, our parents remarried 20 years ago, each bringing a child from their previous marriages. Hazuki was my father's child. From a young age, Hazuki has been somewhat cold towards our mother. I thought it might be shyness, but her attitude hasn't changed even now. And on another day, Mom, I'm home.
Hello, mother-in-law.
Lisa, Noah, welcome.
Mom, can you bring out some snacks? I want the ones with chocolate.
I'll take a beer.
Okay, snacks and beer it is.
Come on. Hazuki and Dad, you can do that much yourselves.
Oh, I'll help. Is this glass okay? And the snacks with chocolate.
Hazuki, you help out too.
Noah is doing it, so it's fine.
I was concerned not only about Hazuki but also about my father's indifferent attitude towards my mother. Moreover, since my father was unemployed, my mother was working to support the family. Worried about her, I made it a point to visit my parents' house regularly. Noah also kept an eye on my mother and cared about her just like I did.
Lisa, about your dad and Hazuki. I'm kind of worried, you know?
You think so too? They've both been like that since forever.
Hey, if you and your mom wouldn't mind, how about living together with us?
Really? Are you sure?
Sure or not, your dad isn't working and I think it's physically tough on your mom. I mean, honestly, I got really worried when we visited your family home last time.
You noticed it too, huh?
Yeah, I really like your mom, and it would be safer for you to live together, right?
It would be safer, but are you really okay with it, Noah?
What are you talking about? I wouldn't suggest it if I wasn't okay with it. Could you talk to her about it when you have some time?
Thanks, Noah. I'll ask Mom about it. I was very happy to see that Noah was seriously considering my mother's situation. Sometimes, Hazuki and my father treat my mother like a housekeeper. I couldn't help but worry because no matter how many times I addressed it, neither of them seemed to listen. Noah and I decided to discuss living together, so we went to my parents' house to see my mother, and…
Oh, sister and Noah, you're here. Listen, I'm getting married.
Married? So you be moving out of the family home?
Yeah, that's right. My boyfriend is super rich, unlike you.
Hazuki, that's not a nice way to say that.
And he's planning a duplex house so that Dad and the others can live together too.
Isn't that nice? It's supposed to have a beautiful seaside view. Don't you think it's the best?
A duplex house. I haven't heard anything about this.
Of course not. You're not included in this plan.
The one moving in with me will be my new wife. A boring housekeeper like you isn't needed anymore.
What? What are you talking about?
Father, that's no way to speak about her.
I know I'm sorry, but can you keep out of this?
Noah is not an outsider.
What do you mean? Moving in with your new wife? What are you talking about?
I mean, I'm divorcing you. I'm done with this miserable life.
Has Hazuki already known about this remarriage?
Why would you think I wouldn't know? Well, that's what it is. No need for an old stepmother anymore, so consider this a goodbye.
Hearing these words from Hazuki and my father, I was both shocked and boiling with anger. However, just as I was about to retort with all my momentum, my mother, who had been quiet in the conversation, suddenly spoke up.
What? I can disown them. Well, you should have said so sooner. I'm more than happy to disown Hazuki and your father, given how terrible they are.
Huh? Why are you so happy about this?
Well, if that's the case, it makes things easier since you understand.
So, the divorce is settled then. Hazuki and Dad, you need to leave this house right now.
What are you talking about, sis? This house belongs to Dad, you know?
That's right. Why is Lisa calling the shots and saying such things?
What are you even talking about? This house belongs to Lisa.
Huh? Why would it belong to my sister?
This house was originally my father's and I inherited it. But a few years ago, I transferred it to Lisa's name.
Father, forgetting whose name the house is under is really bad, you know? Every time property taxes come up, didn't you hear it was under Lisa's name?
Was it really?
I've told you before. Dad, you've never been good at listening.
Whatever, it's fine. I'll just ask my boyfriend to let us live in a fancy high-rise. I don't need this house. I don't need this old shack. I'll graciously leave it to you, sis. Humph.
No, it's not about giving it away or anything. This is my house.
Well, good. It saves us the trouble of selling it, Hazuki.
You say that, weren't you secretly delighted thinking the house would be sold?
Not at all.
Never mind. Hazuki and Dad, you have 2 weeks. During that time, gather all your belongings without leaving anything behind and prepare to hand over the house properly to me. After saying that, we left our family home and submitted the divorce papers signed by my mother and father. During the period until the handover, the 3 of us lived together and worked on a certain plan. Later, Hazuki and my father tried to call my mother, but she blocked their numbers because of their persistence. 2 weeks later, as promised, when we opened the front door of our family home, it was in complete disarray. It's more of a mess than it was 2 weeks ago, instead of being tidied up.
What happened to cleaning up? The 2 weeks are up. What are we going to do with all this stuff?
Hey, isn't it mean to block calls like that?
That's right. For a mother to block calls. How can we get in touch if we need to?
Though, we've disowned each other, haven't we? There shouldn't be anything left to discuss. Besides, you were supposed to have a young new stepmother after remarrying. What do you need me for now?
Let's cancel the disownment. Let's live together happily as a family of 3 in this house.
What? But Hazuki and your stepfather were going to get married and live by the beautiful seaside, right? Plus, you said you were graciously leaving this old shack to Lisa and her mother, didn't you?
Exactly. After making such a big deal, why the sudden change of heart?
There was a little mix-up. So, you see, the marriage has been postponed.
Oh dear, that's tough. Your marriage being postponed. So how long is the delay?
About a month. No, maybe 2 months.
Come on, it'll be forever, right? Both the rich fiancé and the young stepmother are just figments of your imagination, aren't they?
Huh. What do you mean, imagination? That makes it sound like Dad and I are delusional.
That's right. We had a wedding celebration for the 4 of us 2 weeks ago.
That was all a ruse. You and your father are so easily fooled. So foolish.
While Hazuki and her father were making poor excuses, a woman suddenly appeared. Surprised by the unexpected visitor, they...
Who are you? Why are you entering someone's house all of a sudden?
Yeah, who are you? And what's this all about?
This is Noah's sister, Mia. She's a professional detective.
A detective? Why would a detective be sticking her nose into our business?
I thought something smelled fishy, so Lisa and I asked my sister to investigate.
The young woman who was supposed to become your stepmother. She works at a nightclub. She said to me in a sweet voice that she only sees you as a customer.
That can't be. She wanted to marry me. We went out to eat together many times.
Did you go to her workplace after those meals?
Of course, she made time to see me before her shift started.
Dad, that's just accompanying you. It's normal for her to go out for meals with someone. You must have had a lot of fun, but you completely misunderstood her business flirtation.
The girl you thought you were going to marry is the top seller at that club. She was totally creeped out being made to have dinner with the daughter couple, and she got so scared when you told her to sign the marriage certificate that she banned you from the club.
So that's why the bouncers turned me away when I went to the club. This is ridiculous.
Oh, Dad, you fall in love too easily. Unlike me, I didn't meet my guy at some fancy club.
But you know the address on the marriage certificate doesn't exist, right? Yet you gave about 3 million yen under the pretext of a down payment for building a house.
It's only natural I gave that much. After all, he's going to pay me hundreds of millions.
He's not going to pay. You've been deceived.
That's why you can't contact him anymore.
Why don't you stop daydreaming and face reality? Hazuki and her father were both fully intent on marrying their respective partners. However, the reality was that they were just being deceived, nothing more than a fantasy. Confronted with this fact by Mia.
What are you talking about? Just because you guys are commoners, don't trash talk my boyfriend.
You're a commoner too.
I'm going to marry a millionaire and become a celebrity.
That's what I'm telling you, you won't. Don't you understand Japanese?
You say you're a detective or something, but surely you're just making up that information, right? You just don't want to divorce me and have made up some ridiculous...
Don't flatter yourself too much. Didn't I say I'd be happy to disown you?
A jobless husband and a selfish daughter. Nobody wants to live with people like that.
Even if you say that, the truth is surely...
Enough already. Do you have any idea how much Mom has done for this family over the past 20 years? How much do both of you think she has carried you on her back?
We were just helping Mom to not become sedentary by keeping her busy.
Stop talking nonsense. You were just using her for your convenience.
Even so, we've lived together all this time. Isn't that the answer?
You two just overstayed your welcome. Didn't you happily agree to disown each other? You even signed the divorce papers quickly. Don't you get it yet?
That was just written in the heat of the moment. Haga,
Hey Lisa, doesn't this guy have a screw loose or something?
what did you say?
We're thrilled to be disowning you guys. Wake up already.
The fact that you've been abandoned by your mother-in-law isn't a fantasy or anything.
Confronted directly with reality, Hazuki and her father responded.
Fine, fine, say whatever you want. Well, for now, Mom, Dad and I will live here together again, so you won't be lonely anymore.
That's right. We'll all be together again and have fun, so don't worry, okay?
Okay, what about this pile of stuff? Today marks the 2-week deadline, you know.
You seem pretty relaxed about this, but I'm not extending the handover deadline at all.
Now, Mom and Lisa, I understand you're upset about things I've said. We've been married for so long, we can surely get along moving forward, right?
Stepfather, did you perhaps forget that you're divorced?
The divorce papers were officially processed 2 weeks ago.
Hey, how can you cut ties so easily with a family you've lived with for 20 years?
That sounds like something Mom should be saying.
Lisa, be quiet. We have a bond that only we can understand.
There is no bond. If there were, you wouldn't talk about divorce so casually, would you?
Mom, you've always been a contrarian. It's interesting to discover this new side of you.
Right. Doesn't it feel like we've come to know each other better than ever?
No, it doesn't. What are you talking about getting to know each other? I've known for a long time that you two are beasts, you damn pair. What do you mean, housekeeper? If I'm a housekeeper, then pay me a daily wage, damn it.
Yikes.
Mom, why are you getting so angry?
Shut up. I'm talking right now, don't talk over me.
Finally, my normally mild-mannered mother had reached her breaking point.
You two are neither family nor anything else to me. Get out now if you understand.
Why would you say that?
Right. This time, I will really find a job.
We don't need that anymore. Can you just leave because you're in the way?
Then, I'll pay rent every month. Right. Try to persuade her, sister.
If you and Dad can pay 100,000 yen each, totaling 200,000 yen, then fine.
How could we possibly pay that much? That's awful.
Then, just until I find a job, let us stay here.
Stop depending on others forever. You two are complete strangers now.
Trying to find flimsy excuses to stay will be useless. Whatever happens to you is none of our concern. From now on, you do need to live by yourselves.
Wait a minute. Where am I supposed to live if I'm thrown out here?
We'll really become homeless.
You should try to marry the young woman and Hazuki should try marrying a rich man.
Please, let me stay here.
Shut up. Don't make me repeat myself over and over. Get out right now.
Yikes.
You can leave any belongings you can't take. I'll clean them up in a second for you.
Oh, is that okay? I feel somewhat bad about it.
It's fine. I can handle this stuff in no time.
Then you can leave right now.
I can finally breathe.
My fault. I'll work properly from now on.
You haven't worked up till now, so you definitely won't start.
I'll be filial. Stop being so cold, please.
Begging won't help you now.
Wait, just a minute.
You didn't never know when to give up. Fly off into the sky for all I care.
After much fussing, Hazuki and her father were eventually kicked out by Mia. Shortly thereafter, the self-proclaimed wealthy man Hazuki was supposed to marry was arrested for fraud, but the 3 million yen he had taken was already spent and not a single yen returned. Meanwhile, the woman from the nightclub that the father was smitten with had unusually high sales that month. Despite the large sums of money spent to maintain his illusion, both my mother and I ended up admiring her in a roundabout way. However, what awaited my now disillusioned father were piles of debt collection letters. As for Hazuki, having no savings or income and having lived extravagantly on credit cards under the assumption she would marry rich, she and her father were set for a miserable life without a home or money. As for us.
What? So, Lisa's mom, you're not living together?
Yes, I've never lived alone before.
Mother-in-law, please let us know if you need anything, okay?
Thank you, Noah. I was really happy that you suggested we live together.
Mom.
Lisa, thank you for leaving me this house, living in a home filled with memories of my parents. I'm very happy, really, thank you.
What a lovely story.
My mother decided to live alone in the house, even though we had planned to live together. When I think about it, this is a cherished house left by my grandparents. The pillars marked with the heights of my mother and her siblings when they were children, the dishes that my grandmother had collected. Looking closely, I could see that it was filled with my mother's precious memories. From now on, Noah and I will come to this house not with worry, but with excitement. When we have children someday, I hope to be a kind and dignified mother like my mom. I will always admire her. Thank you, Mom. If you enjoyed this video, we'd be thrilled if you subscribed to our channel. Subscribing means you'll receive notifications for new videos, keeping you in the loop with all our latest content. Your support is vital to our growth. Let's enjoy and grow together.